distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor and a pleasure for me as the President of UVA Clinical Society to welcome you all for these 12th annual academic sessions and the induction of UVA chapter of College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka. We are standing on a historical ground at a historical era as we commemorate the 200th year anniversary of the Great Rebellion of 1818, also known as the Uva-Vella's Uprising, which was the third Canadian War with the British. Thousands who died were fearless and clever fighters. General Hospital Badulla was established in 1891 and is one of the oldest hospitals in Sri Lanka, which is more than 125 years old now. UVA Clinical Society was started in 1973 with the view of disseminating knowledge of medicine to the province of UVA. This time, the annual sessions will be held in collaboration with the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, the Ceylon College of Physicians, the College of Anesthesiologists and Intensivists, the Sri Lanka College of Endocrinologists, the Sri Lanka Association of Urological Surgeons, and the College of Psychiatrists of Sri Lanka. And I wish to warmly welcome all the guest speakers who have travelled so far to join us today.
Good morning. Thank you, Kalana, for your kind words of introduction. Mr. President, members of the Council of the UVA Clinical Society, President of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka and its council members, Provincial Director of Health, Director of Provincial General Hospital Badulla, other invited guests, my dear colleagues and friends. At the outset, let me thank the President and the Council of the UVA Clinical Society for giving me this opportunity, and I am privileged and honoured to be the chief guest at your clinical sessions this year. When you are young and in the early part of your career, you feel very happy and proud when you hear your own CV. It was the case when I attended the annual academic sessions of UVA Clinical Society 15 years ago in 2000 to deliver the lecture on hematology. They reminded me of that in the morning, saying I looked very young at that time. However, when you are old and close to retirement, like me now, you realize actually your CV resembles and reminds of your obituary to a great extent.
Chief guest, Dr. Artha Begunsekar, President of the UVA Clinical Society, Dr. Kalana Parnapalli, and the Council and the members of the UVA Clinical Society, past President of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka and the Council members of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, and the Director of the Hospital, Dr. Hemanta Silva, and all other distinguished guests who are here. It is indeed a privilege to be invited to address you today in your 12th annual academic session of the UVA Clinical Society. I will take this opportunity to tell you a little about the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka because I am representing today the College of Surgeons. That was Dr. Noel Berthelus. Since then, actually college has turned out to be a major academic institution which takes many challenges every year. Over the years, it has progressed under many presidents and the councils who were before me.
So this remarked the inauguration of UVA chapter of College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka. Dr. Kalanapalli Guruge. Vice President and President-elect is Dr. Anand Jayawardena. Joint Secretaries we have three, Dr. Suraj Ratnayaka, Dr. Saman Renka and Dr. Priyal Surya. Treasurer Dr. Sampath Vilekon. The Council, Dr. Kalana Mendis, Dr. Saman Pushpakumara, Dr. Sangha Gunawardena and Dr. Hemant Singha. Also Dr. Mohan Samasingh.
At the time, the decision had to be taken at the center in Colombo, but of course the surgeons from Badulla supported us. But today, there's a huge difference. You decide for yourself, you take decisions, you implement them, and then you invite us. And it's a huge change. I'm very pleased to know that change. At this time, I have been requested to speak a few words relevant to the concepts behind establishing regional chapters and regional clinical societies, especially related to the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, with a negative impact on the very same purpose for which the societies are established.
It is a pleasure because he used to be my co-house officer and co-registrar, and it is a privilege because he is a well-known academic and a leading urologist practicing in Colombo. He is a senior lecturer, Department of Anatomy, Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, and he has many fellowships, as you can see in this slide, and he has given many national and international lectures. Just to add a personal note also, we used to do everything he told us to do those days because he is also well versed in martial arts as well. He is not mentioned here.
So I think you have a few lectures in the morning, and we want to make it a little interesting and a dialogue. So I hope I will join with me when we get started with the sexualities and his diet as usual. He's on a high carb diet, 3 times a day rice, with less vegetables, and he's not getting his portion of fruits for the day, no regular exercise at all. He consumes alcohol, and he says occasionally, and he smokes a couple of cigarettes when he's having a drink. His BMI was 28, marked acanthosis on his neck and the axillary areas. Blood pressure was 150/90. He was on treatment. While on treatment, it was 150/90. Defined as a persistent inability to attain and maintain an erection sufficient to permit satisfactory sexual performance. Ajit will go on to the details on how to measure and the technical details, but for us, physicians, this is the definition that we usually follow. It's, as you know, it's a complex mechanism. Erection or the erectile function is a complex neurovascular phenomenon which is under the control of hormones and psychological factors. So it's a very complex thing, but if you simplify, it involves arterial dilatation, then trabecular smooth muscle relaxation, and activation of the corporeal veno-occlusive mechanism. All 3 factors or the mechanism should come in sequence, I would say, for a sustainable erection.
As Manilka has described, this is a gen who has several sort of risk factors going on, uncontrolled problems, which have been looked at extensively and tackled by the endocrinology team. And due to the severity of the illness, they sometimes do have the disease progressing and not responding to the sildenafils, tadalafils, etc. Basically, either papaverine and prostagil or phentolamine is also available as combinations. We tell the patient, obviously the dorsal aspect should be avoided, that is where the nerves and the vessels are. Inferiorly in the penis is where the urethra is. So avoid those two areas and inject mostly at the 3 and 9 o'clock positions, 10 to 15 minutes beforehand. Generally, the diabetics who are happy to use this do very well on this. What are the issues and the complications with this? Especially with papaverine, sometimes patients get prolonged erections or priapism. And this is something that one has to warn the patients about, right? Because it is a very cruel illness, this priapism. It gives them a fabulous erection which goes on and on and on and on.
I was showing him, then I saw the model I was showing him photographs when he came last time, 2 years back. Thank you very much.
Ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease are considered the principal types of inflammatory bowel disease. There is about 10 to 15% of patients who cannot be classified, and these are called indeterminate colitis. And some authors include collagenous and lymphocytic colitis also as uncommon inflammatory bowel diseases. If we look at ulcerative colitis, it is essentially an autoimmune mediated disease, and Crohn's disease is considered an immune-related disease. Ulcerative colitis affects the colon and the rectum. Crohn's disease can occur in any part of the gastrointestinal tract, from the mouth to the anus, though commonly it's the ileocecal region and the perianal region that are affected, as well as the small bowel. If we look at the epidemiological data, the highest incidence is in Europe, North America and Australia, the so-called Western countries, with an annual frequency in Europe of 24.3 for per 100,000 for ulcerative colitis, and about half that incidence for Crohn's disease. And there are similar figures in the North American population, though we find that in North America, Crohn's disease is as common as ulcerative colitis. And according to the Access study, the incidence in Asia is very much less. It's just 1.4 per 100,000. And the study had also found the incidence, overall incidence in Sri Lanka to be about 1.59, of which about 2/3 is ulcerative colitis.
The council brought this topic to this audience. So I would like to thank Kalana, my friend, and President of the Working Society, and the council for inviting me for this lecture. So the outline of my talk would be to try to define what anaphylaxis is, and a couple of words about the clinical picture, diagnosis, and treatment, and I will try and get you through some case scenarios in the next 25 minutes. Right, so what is anaphylaxis? I mean, this is a picture taken in the Japanese city by a tsunami. You can see the height of the wave, and it's going to disrupt what's being hit by plant. I mean, anaphylaxis is something like that. It's very, very acute and potentially fatal, which is a generalized systemic hypersensitive reaction occurring within minutes. Most of the time it's very, very acute upon exposure to antigen. But like tsunami, it can have a second wave as well. So some people do get anaphylactic reaction after a few hours, and after exposure to
So, anaphylaxis is a very acute, potentially fatal, generalized hypersensitivity reaction, occurring within very short period of time upon exposure to some kind of allergen.
Diabetic renal diseases is around 31%. Majority of patients do not develop any complications. Transient microscopic hematuria is the most common complication. It is around 7.3% as a minor complication. 3 patients require blood transfusion. It is around 1.2%. 2 had a very rapid urinary point. It is around 0.86%.
Is our study. The clinical paper is Commission majority was single sex, nearly 83%. The extended Muslims represent 1.5% respectively. Consists of satisfactory history and examination of families only 16% and working there.
That is a primary thing which will affect the scar. Otherwise, it's a very good study. That's why I was very impressed when I looked at the study initially. I was going to say that, okay, now here everyone is promoting endoscopic ones. We all should. So now recently in the newspapers, there's someone who has gone through the tongue and done a thyroidectomy. So people are trying to promote those equipment, as I said in my early morning lecture.
My study regarding the final etiology of pulmonary opacities according to the morphology of lesion and the radiological distribution that presented to our unit during the period of July to September 2017. And we did this study because the chest X-ray is the main investigation, basic investigation that we are doing in any respiratory complaints, and pulmonary lesion is initial presentation of any lung pathology or any lung etiology. And the characteristic features of this lesion and the distribution of this lesion is helping us to getting some clues about the final etiology.
So from the morning you have seen a slide. I slightly modified the slide to show the reality in Sri Lanka. So we talked about equality and equity, but what is the reality? End of the lecture, I will show you another slide, so don't leave the hall. So that is actually the reality. So my outline is that to talk about what is human factor, what is the relationship of human factors to the patient care, and also what strategies we can use to reduce medical errors, and also share my experience when it comes to the teaching of non-technical skills of human factors to healthcare providers in Sri Lanka. So this is a simple checklist for surgical patient. And this is what we have. So when there is a cardiac arrest, real time, If we can tick those boxes, you can. I never experienced this. Then I just repeated. Then morning I have to go and count the signs. So if you are giving a telephone order, it should be heard by 2 people. So that is.
Activities of daily living. It is almost like when we did a very fresh case. So because of this very good cooperation and very good surgical techniques, leading to this much of good outcome at the end, even though we did case with 6 weeks of delay.
Surveys done throughout the world about this topic, and you might have different opinion. However, it is in future. Get such a dialog box up in your screen, and depending on which button to hit, you might get the diagnosis of internet addiction disorder. However it is, if you observe closely this young person lying down on the couch, he can be someone known to you, or maybe one of your children, or maybe it's yourself. Take a minute and think, how do you explain this behavior? You might have different explanations. It's just a behavior. It can be a habit. It can be an addiction. Or this high-tech generation that we don't really understand. And you might think bookworms were much better. If you remember a few decades ago when we were children who were stick to their books were called bookworms, and I think some of them became doctors later on, including myself. But nowadays we see not bookworms, not much, but internet worms or smartphone worms or video game worms. And we have to think seriously about them, what will happen to them in the future. If still the time is available, Canadian Pediatric Association has given this guideline, the table. If you go to the table, the first line, you might see that children under the age of 2 months by no means should give any type of a device. So the baby TV is out. And feeding the child, giving the phone to the hand is out. Okay, feeding the child sitting in front of the TV is out. And we all agree, children below 18 should never be given online games or pornography. What about the preschoolers? Yes, we can give TV for 1 hour, after 1 hour, but that is only for non-violent TV programs. After 1 hour. So, Dangaya is out, Krishna is out, or Shiva is out, or even Ben 10 is out. But we have to think seriously about Artha Dharma Shoka. It has passive and active aggression for preschoolers. Children who are between 6 and 12, they can go up to 2 hours, but again the same rule applies. Children, teenagers, yes, they can watch TV, non-violent TV programs up to 2 hours altogether. They can use handheld devices, and also if we give violent or non-violent video games, preferably non-violent, it is 30 minutes per day, not for hours and hours on video games. If we give video games, we have to sit with them and explain that these are man-made things. In real life, we don't just hit people impulsively, or we don't just shoot at people impulsively. We have to explain that to the child.
And with that, I try to include everyone. It's my fault and my fault only if I forget to mention anyone's name. So District of Artha. So the organizers of the Clinical Society Annual Academic Sessions 2017 and 18, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to the chief guest, the presidents and members of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, the College of Ceylon College of Physicians, the College of Anesthesiologists and Internists, and the Sri Lanka College of Endocrinologists, and the College of Psychiatrists of Sri Lanka. And I would like to also thank the resource persons who have travelled from far away, from Kandy and Colombo, altruistically to share their knowledge with us. And I would like to thank you all for coming today, the doctors and consultants, for attending our sessions and making this event a success. And I would like to also thank the director and the staff of the Provincial General Hospital Pathunda for providing us the venue and all this support for decoration. And I would also like to thank the organizing committees of the CME activities, the entertainment and social events, morbidity and mortality meetings and MDT meetings, who make our work easy. And the lecturers who have conducted CME. And I would like to also thank the surgeons of the Uber province for their enthusiasm and unity which made the induction of Uber chapter of College of Surgeons a reality. And I would also like to thank Mr. Ismat Ahmed and the team of Brown Key for arranging and printing the work and the journal safely. Mr. Kushan and the team for helping us to cover the event, and Mr. Jayasuri and the team as the Heritage Grant for providing us with accommodation for our lecturers and meals. And they will also accommodate in the overnight. Mr. Nadika Burge will be seeing him in the evening. He will be providing us with entertainment at the overnight. And I would also like to thank her staff, Mr. Tushar and Mr. Markanti, and the other attendants who worked tirelessly since last night to help us organizing this event. And finally, the pharmaceutical and surgical equipment industry with their generous donations without could do this event. And thank you very much.